Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. As part of in this audio podcast, a series is this audio podcast series in around the erudition of Colladax. This is a Colladax rupture. This is an audio podcast shorts in around the Colladax feature. This is the Colladax feature 3. This is a child edition and an evidence-based perspective, and this is another Storm Robotics production. This audio podcast or this audio podcast shorts in around the Colladax feature 3 will be in around professionalism, professionalism in the workplace based on and in around a sort of a workshop that took place sort of retrospectively in 2020. Here there was a sort of an attending of a particular workshop on professionalism in the workplace, which sort of helped grasp sort of definitions and order and to sort of ascertain comprehension in around 5 particular aspects, including number 1, behaviors; number 2, appearance; number 3, productivity; number 4, knowledge; and number 5, leader and role model. Here I learned that I learned there was that at this in during this particular in around this particular workshop in around professionalism in the workplace in this workshop, there was a general learning in around professionalism as a set of internalized and how it's a set of internalized strengths and values directed towards sort of high quality service to others through effort and labor. Internal character as internal character in context of this workshop that had taken place sort of retrospectively had been highlighted as a sort of strength and value, where there is an identification integrated or aligned to sound judgment, sort of sound judgment, know-how, and sort of being sort of workplace savvy, having responsibility and solving problems. This workshop was intriguing, was important in aspects in around sort of professionalism, and how professionalism is aligned to having confidence, poise, and sort of and having a sort of confidence aligned to behavior, excuse me, aligned to behavior as well. Here during this workshop, there was a general learning that different decision making in around different decision making styles, learning and development that determine professionalism and work ethic. There was a learning in around the around the importance of having a sort of dialogue, diverse ways of disseminating knowledge, and also acknowledging limitations. There was also a learning in around the important to self-regulate and implement codes of practice to trust knowledge and judgment, and having a sort of an agile mindset and approach to challenges, or to particular or specific challenges. So on learning or through this particular workshop or in around professionalism, there was a there was a particular a particular reflective model that had been implemented through and through sort of reflecting through reflecting on in following this particular workshop particular workshop on professionalism. And so there was a decision to implement Kolb's model from 1984. Kolb's model is from 1984. Is somewhat similar to Gibbs cycle in 1988 in that it is cyclic, and it offers a sort of a basis or a basis for re-examining practice, and lends itself well to sort of repeated sort of experiences, or repeated experiences. The main difference is that Kolb's model from 1984 helps sort of realize that there is a need to reflect sort of, or there is a requirement to reflect systematically, and to learn something new or improve on existing skills and practices. Kolb's model from 1984 focuses on, for example, concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. There was in around this there was a focus on what's been referred to as CPD, or continuous professional development, especially where process of where process of a CPD prompts a perspective documenting sort of lessons and how these could be implemented in future, aligned to sort of aligned to work sort of prospectively. CPD and reflection also sort of natural in context of those who are developing research in context of academic practices as well. Kolb's model from 1984 also prompted to review, analyze, and evaluate sort of a rigor as in around research, in around sort of academic research, and sort of research sort of a laboratory pathology basis as well, and also in some contexts aligned to sort of works in context of research in around industry. The Kolb's model also helped explore and assess initial challenges, and how practice differs between sectors. This particular workshop allowed to sort of appreciate tasks that need time and commitment, prioritizing and planning. There was a sort of and again in around sort of decision making and approach to different an approach to certain and specific types of aspects aligned to professionalism. And there was during this particular workshop there was an emphasis on collaboration to ensure particular to ensure particular sort of aspect aligned to productivity. And Kolb's model from 1984 sort of helped refocus and assess experiences sort of pragmatically. And so, for example, for example, there are there are online excuse me. So, for example, online there are project management sort of toolkits that are sort of available, and these and how and through this particular workshop in around professionalism, sort of retrospectively from 2020, there was a sort of a learning in around how project management through particular toolkits can be of advantage in around organizing work, but also organizing aspects of research, and relating to or regarding sort of active experimentation. For example, there have been sort of a practicing have been and there was a basis in where there had been a sort of practicing newly acquired knowledge had been important, so it is or has been important, so that theoretical insight from what is gained is focused into areas of sort of perspective works, perspective works or perspective research. Through this workshop in around professionalism, there was a basis in around how it's important to be flexible. Excuse me. Important to be flexible and sort of understanding how sort of understanding uh, sort of understanding from different parts of works or research, for example, should be viewed as a way of sort of ingraining sort of experience from different perspectives, as well. And the workshop was generally sort of where there was a sense of enthusiasm, and it was a workshop that reminded was a reminder, sorry, of how specialist knowledge is important as well. So that closes in on this audio podcast short in around this audio podcast in this series, erudition of Colladax. This is an audio podcast short aligned to the Colladax Feature 3. This is a Colladax rupture, and this is a child edition, and an evidence-based perspective. This has been another Storm Robotics production. Thank you.